Hi everyone, we are psyched. My name is Tania, and this is my mom, Brunel.
Yeah.
We are both psychic mediums, and for months we have been getting messages that we need to start sending out this information to people. We are from Puerto Rico, so English is not our first language, so we apologize if there's some miscommunication or something lost in translation. We are going to try to do our best.
Yeah, and we think that our mission basically is to let people know what these messages are and what it's all about, because our interest is to make people aware of what things are happening around us and what to do, basically what to do and what God is expecting from us to do. And I think that we need you all to know us, where we come from, why we have that mission. It started years and years and years ago, and actually it's
Generations ago.
Actually generations, yes, and it's something like very interesting that happened to our family a long time ago, and everything started when we were living in the north side of the island. My mom, she was the one who received the message, the first message, and she was actually in the kitchen, just as usually she was. We're a big family. We're 9 sisters, and she saw these people that came in to the knocked the door, the kitchen door, and she saw them and she opened the door, said what they wanted. The thing is that she felt very confident that they were good people because they were all dressed in white.
Mm-hmm.
They looked very, very nice, very calm, very serene. And she asked, what they wanted to say. The first thing they told her was, if we have to tell you that you have to leave this place, to sell this house, and go to another place, because that was God's command, and would you do it? And she said, whatever God wants me to do, I will do. I said, okay, there is something that we need you to do, and we are going to come back, and we are going to tell you what it is and when it's going to be done.
And a little bit of backstory. My grandma, her mom, is also a psychic medium, and so is her mom, and so on and so forth. And they have that. We have that huge generation, many generations ago, with that gift, and they have all experience and they have all had their own mission. Some of them were able to do it. Some of them got caught up on life, and that's the normal thing, right? And weren't able to achieve it. So my grandma was very aware that at one point she might get that call for that mission, but again, she was caught up on life, so she wasn't really 100% looking. But in the meantime, she still stayed connected to Source, to God, through her own experiences that she had, through her own healing. She's a healer. She was a healer as well. So she did that throughout her life. So at this point in her life, all her kids were grown up, right? They were all grown up.
We will, yeah.
Most of them had their own family, or at least some of them had their own family.
Yeah.
So she really didn't have maybe just one kid with her if she had to move. So at that point in her life, it was the perfect time.
yeah, and then of course, her life changed drastically, I might say, since that experience, because that changed her life to the better, and it was great things that happened. Well, they came back. They came back, And then they told, okay, it's time for you to sell your house because you're going to move from here. You have a mission that is going to be very important for your family and for a lot of people that you're going to meet. So we had family in the west side of the island, and my father was visiting. It actually was my sister cousin that lived there. He went to visit, and for some reason they passed through this house that it's had some kind of attraction, for them. It's something that the house had.
Something magnetic.
Something like that. So by then, well, guess what? They were selling the house. There was no sign of that they were selling the house, but they knew through my cousin sister that they were selling the house. So then my dad says, okay, well, let's go see the house. They went to see the house. They said, well, this is it. It has to be this house. So they put our house there in the north side of the island to sell, and of course it was sold in a month or so, and it was kind of difficult in those times, but it was sold.
Yeah, this was back in the 80s.
Yes.
Earlier years.
Late 70s actually. And well, they sold the house, they bought the other one, and that's when everything started to get real interesting. Because when they were in the house, they started to have what we call the callings from our brothers and sisters from other
from the universe.
From other planets, from the universe. So what happened? Then they came back, I think, to see my mom, and then they told that the house that we bought in the west side of the island. So then they say you have to build a pyramid. My dad said, okay, I don't know how to build a pyramid. My mother said, what are we gonna do? But okay, but my mom, she was, her face was.
Well, what was interesting is that they gave them, it was not just like, you have to build a pyramid. It was like, you have to build a pyramid, and it has to be a certain way. Like, one of the things was like, you cannot use any metal, which, if you know anything about construction, that's kind of hard to do.
No metal, nothing like that. And then the door of the pyramid has to face the east. So it has to be like that. Then the measurements of the pyramid has to be like the ones from the pyramid of Egypt, but in a smaller scale. Yeah, smaller scale. So okay, so we just waited, for some more instructions. So then this afternoon, that my mom said that she saw my older sister. She said they were like kind of receiving like something that they had to go to the back of the house. They have to go there. Then suddenly my mom started to see a light. It was a long blue light that was pointing. It was going up and down, pointing to one place. So she said, well, this is it. They might be
in their backyard.
Yeah, in the backyard. Yeah, so this is it. This might be the measurements of the pyramid or something, but let's just follow it. So then she would look for small pieces of branches. So she put it there. As soon as she put the branch exactly where the light was, the light just vanished and appeared in another place. So they say, okay, well, this is it. Then my older sister was there too. They started to look for branches and everything, and they just started to put that in the four corners. So they had the four corners already there. So they called my dad. He said, but this is it. It has to be. We have to start with this. So my father immediately he measured everything, and it was a perfect square. And he said, okay, well, this is the base. So they started to do the base, and that's how everything, the construction started. And when they started that construction, then my mom kept receiving all the instructions that they have to have. There have to be a star in the middle. They have to get a stone, a specific stone that is going to be in the middle of that star. And he kept how am I going to do it without any metal? So they just use their knowledge basically of things that they could do or anything. Later on, I can give you the some of the pictures that you're going to see how it was built. And they use these pieces of wood inside of whoever knows how to build things inside of the blocks, the cement blocks. They put some these sticks. Basically has to be specific wood and all that, and everything started to come up perfectly. Even when my father went to get the wood from a hardware store, he needed that specific wood, and he bought all the stick they had. But guess what? He used up to the last piece of stick in that pyramid. So exactly all those sticks that they had from that wood, it was exactly what he needed.
And this is the end result of the pyramid. This way. That's, as you can see, pyramid. The doors facing the east, and it had this little square things here
for the light,
and that's what's for the light.
Yeah, and then there was a stone in the part here. Was a stone in here.
There was
a quartz, and then they had holes and everything that kept the pyramid in a specific temperature, so you could be there. And
this was in Puerto Rico, and it was always cool inside
the pyramid. It was the same temperature, basically, the same temperature.
Nice.
And then but while we were building the pyramid, the thing is that taking you a little bit back before we started, to the floor, the base of the pyramid, we put a tent back there, and we went to meditate and to pray and all that. Oh my God, there's so many lights, different colors all the time there, and it was so beautiful being out there, and it was so amazing,
magical.
So it was like magic, like we were in a magic place. So we definitely knew that was the place that we had to build the pyramid, a long while. So
for many years, that place became, a go-to place for spirituality, for people that were seeking more spirituality in their life, or more, I guess, being closer to God and to Source.
Yeah. And to heal.
And she also did a lot of healing. She helped a lot of people, both physical and mentally.
Yeah.
This was free for everybody. She never accepted donations, ever.
Never.
And there was plenty of people who were willing to, give her money or whatever, but she never took it. She knew that was her calling. and it was very hard for her to accept any kind of monetary gifts or anything like that.
Yeah.
And she did it for almost 20 years.
Oh yeah, for a long time.
And that pyramid, I mean, they built it so well that it was still there until like about a year ago. The people that ended up owning it, because the house is no longer in the family, they took it down, so it's not there anymore. But it would still be there. It was so well built that it wasn't going anywhere.
No hurricanes or anything could.
Yeah, but once my grandma, she ended up moving to Florida about a decade or so ago. So, and once she left Puerto Rico, there was really no more need for the pyramid. There was no energy, no nothing there. It just kind of went with her, or it just kind of just went away. Because what she needed to do was already done. So her mission was done. So the pyramid and whatever was in the pyramid, whatever energy, whatever healing properties it had, it went away with her. So
it served its purpose. That's for sure. Because there were so many people that was healing there. And there's a lot of stories of a lot of things that happened there that it will be endless.
For whatever reason you happen to know of this pyramid, it's La Pirámide de Moca.
You can Google it.
You can Google it, but there's not a lot of stuff. I haven't been able to find anything.
Lately,
she did some news reporting. There were several news reporters, especially from Puerto Rico or South America, that did ended up going there and made shows. But they're really hard to find, because this was like it was in the 90s, and I am not really that techie, so maybe they're in the internet vault or whatever that's called, in the Wayback Machine, and maybe there's a way to find it. But this was before the internet, so I don't know, it's really hard to find. But if you happen to be one of the people who were blessed enough to go and see it, or know somebody, please comment and let us know, because we would love to hear about anybody that visited.
Because we know a lot of things that happened there, but we don't know a lot of things at the same time, because we were not always there. But and they even sent a representative from the King of Spain, sent a representative there, because he wanted to know what that was all about. So because Spain people, they do believe in those spiritual things and whatever. So they wanted to know, my mom just is okay. This is what it is. It is what it is. And he went to inside the pyramid and everything, and she usually kept there in the pyramid. She usually kept water. So that water got like all the energy of the pyramid. So people, when they had that water, a lot of them were healed just for the water. Just the water.
I completely
They don't even have
that.
to be there too long. Just the water was enough. There were doctors, teachers, people, that police officers, that they were healing there with cancer. You name the all the illnesses in the world. They were cured. Just visiting there and getting the energy that was in that pyramid on those days.
So that's kind of our backstory. Like, even though it was our grandma there, like, I grew up there in that pyramid. I spend every summer and every few hours after school, I would go to my grandma's and wait for her mom to be done with work, and she would pick us up, and I was there for like an hour or two. And every time I went to grandma's house, I would go to the pyramid. So for years, the pyramid was my place, my go-to. And like I said, during the summer, I was with my grandma every day, and I would go in and sneak in, and so I got a lot of that energy, and it just kind of passed on to me. And I have been avoiding that gift for many decades. I didn't want it. I didn't want to be a part of it, and it was because there's a lot of if you're a kid going through that spiritual awakening, the things that you experience and the things that you see are very scary.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's a lot of
on top-
sacrifice too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of sacrifice. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You have to sacrifice a lot of things.
Yeah, and but also I just wanted a normal life. I didn't want that. I didn't want, because my grandma, even though she was amazing, an amazing healer, an amazing medium, an amazing psychic, and she helped so many people, she suffered a lot physically because
draining
she was
her.
in that pyramid
was
like
draining
18
her,
hours
yeah.
a day. It was crazy.
Mhm.
Once it made it to the TV, it became even worse.
Yeah.
Because
Oh
we
my
had
God, yes.
buses of people going in, buses, like school buses of people going in. The weekends were insane.
Yes.
So it was just a nonstop for her. She sacrificed a lot of her body because she was sitting all that time or helping people, and you can protect yourself spiritually as much as you can. But it's really hard to protect yourself physically when you're doing those things.
Yeah.
So she suffered a lot through that. I didn't want to put myself through that because all I saw was everything that she gave and nothing that she received.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am I going to put myself through that if like I still need a job, I still need to make money.
Yeah.
I never thought of if I was going to be a healer, if I was going to advise people psychically or or in a mediumship way, I didn't see how I could make money off of it because my grandma didn't. She never accepted that money. So it was really hard for me to get to that place where it is okay. It's my time. That it's okay that I receive money. It's okay that I ask for money if I want to be in this business because I still have bills to pay. I still have to feed my daughter. So it took a lot to get where we are.
Yes.
So in the meantime, so I have had I don't know, fibromyalgia for over 10 years, and after trying everything out there that you can think of, I ended up doing past life regression, and that was the only thing that healed my fibromyalgia. And I was so amazed by it that I went to Canada. That's where the person that gave me the recession is from, and he was also giving classes and certification. So I went to Canada and I got my certification and I became a hypnotherapist. And I do past life regressions, and I love it. I haven't done it for 2 years because I had a baby. But it was pretty amazing to be able to take somebody back to a past life that's still attached to this one that's affecting you. So when I started doing that, I was like, okay, well, why don't I why don't I use my actual gift of mediumship and psychic and healing? And so when I started doing that, thinking about it, at that point I already had a baby, so I wasn't really involved in the business, but I was awakening myself more into that possibility of if I go back to the business, maybe I can expand myself to my psychic abilities. And while I did that, while I was doing that, thinking about it, this is when I don't know if I could say this. I guess I can say COVID. Can I say COVID? That's when COVID hit, and so it just everything, the energy and everything completely shifted, and I guess it just kind of opened things more, and I started seeing more things and hearing about more people being a little bit more awakened to their surroundings and everything. And one day I'm in my kitchen in my house, and I think I was making a snack for my daughter. I can't remember, but it was this was during the spring, and I'm in the kitchen, and all of a sudden I feel this light in my head, like the sun, like I'm facing the sun all of a sudden. And I'm thinking it's really weird because the place where the sun was coming, it was completely opposite to where it is, to where it was. So I'm thinking that there's somebody outside. This is in the middle of the day. Somebody outside with some bright light or something. So what's going on? Because I'm just doing snacks. So I'm looking down and I feel the light. And I look up and I see Jesus. And I'm like, okay, I'm losing my mind. And I see Jesus and he's just getting closer to me. And at the same time that he's getting closer to me, and all his light, I'm blinded by it at this point because it's so bright, that I closed my eyes and I started seeing like pictures of every single thing that happened in the Bible. I'm just seeing it like in a movie, and like a movie, but very, very, very rapidly, every single thing. And then when it wasn't done, Jesus looks at me and tells me everything in the Bible is true. And then he goes away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I've had crazy experiences before, but nothing like that, because I was in the middle of the day. It was in the middle of the day. Most of my stuff happened at night.
And the messages started, from that day.
Yeah, and ever since then, I been receiving messages and passing it along to the family because, I just didn't feel comfortable enough to put it out there. So, it wasn't until like about maybe a year ago that I thought about maybe making a show, but I didn't want to do it by myself because I'm not comfortable on screen. I'm just not comfortable on screen. So, I reached out to my mom and she said, yeah, let's do it. But at the time I was living in New Hampshire and right now we're in Florida. So it would have been really hard to do from her in Florida and me in New Hampshire. So now I'm in Florida, so now we're doing it.
Well, the thing is that she had that experience with Jesus, and my experience with Jesus was I was rehearsing my voice for an Easter mass that we have. It's a community church that when they do these shows or whatever in Easter and Christmas, they invite the whole community. You don't have to be a member of the church to sing with them. So I found that so great because I just love to sing. I sing all my life. So and then I was like practicing my voice and all that for that hymn, and then suddenly I was in the middle of listening to my voice or whatever, and I felt Jesus. He came to me and he put his arms on my shoulder. And it was the most wonderful, unexplicable feeling that I've ever had in my life. He just embraced me, and I could feel, I could smell the wheat, the sweat, the dust. I don't know. It was something like that. And he didn't say anything. At least didn't last long because I would have died in those moments because the energy was so incredible. How I knew it was Jesus, I don't know, but I could feel that the energy that I was feeling and the arms that was around me was from Jesus because he's my guide. So and that's the experience I had. So both of us had those powerful experiences with Jesus, that and he's been our guide. So the messages we have been receiving is from Jesus or from God directly. So that's why we really struggled, thinking, what we do with this, Well, we just say, tell just our family, and I think more people have to know about these messages, because I think it's going to help a lot of people go through their life. And that's our purpose right now. That's what we want to do.
Yes.
So.
And we are going to share as much as we can, but we are aware that YouTube has its own rules and things of what we can talk and what we cannot talk about. So if there is a message that we know that YouTube is not going to allow us to post it, then we will have another way to put it out there.
Yes.
We're not sure yet how we're going to do it. We're not sure if we're going to do some kind of membership or what is the word that I'm trying to think, Patreon thing, to put out those messages. We would love to do it for free. Maybe we'll do another account somewhere else where they will allow us to speak more freely. We're not sure yet. We will definitely let you guys know how to get those messages once we get there. A lot of them have been things that right now we can't even say here. So we are going to try, like I said, we're going to try to do our best to put messages that are okay here, to talk. And something that we really like to do, at least get it in the show somehow. Eventually we're going to go live because we want to answer some of your questions. And there's a lot of you out there that have questions, that are confused, that want to know what's going on, that you feel lost, you feel like maybe you made a mistake in a decision that maybe you shouldn't have done. We want to speak to you. You are the people that we want to reach out to. So let us know, send us a message or post a question in the comments, however you feel more comfortable. We're going to post the links on how to reach us or anything else that we need down on below this video. Is there anything else that you want to?
No, we're just gonna put all the messages together and then.
So today is just, this is us. This is what kind of to expect from us. And we're gonna try to do this as many times as we can, maybe once a day or whatever. And please share our channel. We're new and we're gonna get out there.
Yes.
And subscribe and hit the notification button. I don't know where it is somewhere. So you know when we're getting ready to go live. And thank you so much.
Yeah,
for listening.
For listening.
And we will be back soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.